Invest with 50 million. You can invest in your own social media and streaming platform. Uh, I don't. I think you need more than 50 million to be honest. Yeah. I don't think that's I don't think that's enough. Probably need more like. This is just a guess, of course, but I would think more like 150 to 200 million. And then, of course, the thing is you would not only need a bunch of money to get it started, but you would also need a bunch of money to keep it solvent, because the whole thing in the recent years about Twitch doing everything they can to get money out of their viewer base with ads and reducing the split to streamers and all that kind of stuff. The whole reason they're doing that is because it costs so much money to run Twitch. Now, to be fair, Twitch has become a bloated mess and clearly is running way above its operating costs, or should be running way above its operating costs, especially since Amazon took over and, middle managed the hell out of it, as they do. But outside of that, it still costs a huge amount of money to deliver content in the quality that they are to as many people as they are. And people make this erroneous assumption that because Amazon bought Twitch, that their use of AWS is then like a non-factor, right? Oh, Amazon owns Twitch. They can just run it on their servers. No. It still costs money. And Amazon knows it costs money. And if Twitch is not paying for the money that it takes, then that doesn't matter. So, it's a complete fallacy to assume that because Amazon owns Twitch that they have sure, they get reduced rates, I'm sure, but it's not how it works. So they still got to hit their numbers. But yeah, so making a streaming platform, unless you have a gigantic money engine pumping money into it, like Kick, for instance, it's not something that is cheap. Yeah. So it's not an issue of just get a bunch of money and make a streaming platform. I mean, you have to have long-term plans and advertisers and all that stuff. And that's a thing, man. That's a big thing. What do we need here? I think we need a different key. Maybe we go up a level. I'm here to pump you up. That's exactly right. Yes. That's what I was trying to say, basically. I think we have to do this floor first up here. Maybe? Yeah. But I will say, and I've been very public about this, if it was ever a kind of a situation where there was a chance to see the Twitch of old get revived via a new streaming service that actually had the resources to go somewhere, I think that oh man. Ooh. My lord. I think a lot of people would be all over that. Yep. But we haven't seen that yet, and I don't think anyone's doing that yet. So it's unfortunately probably never going to be a thing. What is the Twitch of old? Much more community focused, much more creator focused, much more gaming focused, to put it bluntly. Agile development on features requested by the community. So it's kind of a thing of the past these days, because it doesn't make as much money as this stuff. But kind of how it all goes. I mean, these services like to make money, so. So all of this stuff is about the dreamers, which is what causes the bridges to the other worlds, and how this ward, which is what they're called here, not only accidentally opened the door for the root to come in, which is the big bad, but also how they went into other worlds and found interesting and fun things there. Although I'm not reading them all out, I am making sure they're on the screen. So especially for people on YouTube, if you want to pause and read over this stuff, it's pretty awesome. Very interesting. And I'm sure we'll play into Remnant 2. Oh. Oh, that's it. Is that it? That's it. Great. Perfect. Yeah, yeah. Justin TV was a big thing, and it was like just stream whatever you want. And then some people stood up at Twitch, or some people stood up at Justin TV and were like, you know, we should really maybe focus on this gaming thing and turn this into like a gaming centric platform. And that was like the original founders. And then they made Twitch. And then Twitch is what, for like the next 5 years, was like the golden years. Like that's when Twitch really took off. It was all about gaming. It was all about gaming community. First TwitchCon was amazing. It was incredible. And then, funny enough, before they started positioning themselves to sell, they realized that they probably knew they were going to sell Twitch years before they did. And as such, wanted to maximize profits. And honestly, a lot of people erroneously was like, oh yeah, Amazon came in and ruined Twitch. Amazon came in and that's not what happened at all. What ruined Twitch is when the owners of Twitch decided to go corpo. That's what ruined Twitch. When the people that made Twitch decided, we're done with this, we want to maximize the value and then sell the company. That's what ruined Twitch. And I say ruined. I should say that's what changed Twitch. That's when the soul fundamentally changed. And that's when we started seeing IRL. That's when we started seeing all this other stuff like come in that had nothing to do with gaming. That's when they, you know, and then funny enough, what they did was they transitioned Twitch from gaming to, they distilled it down to gaming from Justin TV, and then they brought it back to Justin TV to make more money. So it was this weird like bell curve of a graph kind of thing. And then when they realized that it was making enough money, they sold it. And then Amazon took it over, and that's you know, that's where we are now. And it's the same stuff as like Bethesda, where if enough people join the company that are there to make money, and they don't really care about the product, their job isn't to care about the product. Their job is to make money. Like that's what they're hired for. They're not hired to make like the best streaming service ever. They're hired to make money. And eventually over time, that means your entire company, or at least the people driving it, get to the point where that's their job. the majority, once that like critical mass, where the majority of the people working at a company are there to make money, not necessarily the product, that's when everything kind of just, you know, that's when the scales start tipping. And I hate to say it, but like we've talked about in the past, it's capitalism. That's basically what happens in every hugely successful company. And then it becomes this eternal struggle of like balancing caring about the project, but also making money. And, you know, you still probably have people that stick around that are passionate about stuff and hoping they actually get their say and don't leave the company or are forced out, which we saw at Twitch. We saw people that were very passionate about Twitch essentially get not forced out, but, you know, it got to the point where they realized they weren't being listened to and just left. And we saw that happen to like most of the big names at Twitch. Yep. Where big major voices, in some cases the faces of Twitch, just got to a point where they're like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I'm done. I'm out. Yeah, one of the biggest ones being DJ Wheat. Yep, DJ Wheat was like, when Wheat was the voice of Twitch, it was actually pretty fantastic. That dude, DJ Wheat would talk about Twitch, how Sven talks about Baldur's Gate 3. And to give people an example that have never met the guy. And I mean, he was one of those people that was just like, he was in it. He was in the community. He understood the community. Like his keynotes were awesome. I mean, he really cared about this. And I think like it got to the point where he just got, he's kind of talked about this a little bit publicly on his stream, but you just go to meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting where it's just like you can see the walls of what you've built crumbling. Like every meeting gets worse and worse. Like I think on his stream he talked about at one point he stood up in a meeting and he was just like, Is anyone here thinking about the people that stream on the platform? Like, are any of you thinking about that? And it's just like, I can only imagine how soul crushing that would be, you know? Like how, like, I can only imagine how that would feel. Like, just, it's, I have no, there's no real questions why he eventually had to leave, you know what I mean? He had to leave. Yeah. I mean, that kind of thing will drive you crazy. Where's the fuse? I think it's back here. Anyway, enough about that. I'm rambling at this point. Rambling about things uninteresting. Have you considered doing something like a 1 day a week YouTube stream to differentiate? Unfortunately, I cannot do anything like that. I am a signed Twitch streamer. So any live content I do is on Twitch. Yep. That is the state of my stream right now. Oh, was the fuse back in that room? Maybe the fuse was back in that room. No. Maybe it was here. Here we go. Okay. Am I never gonna do TwitchCon? I'm going to TwitchCon this year. Yeah. Yeah, I you know, a lot of times I'm kind of doom and gloomy about Twitch, and there's no question I prefer the old one, but obviously there is still a lot of good things about Twitch. And I do fundamentally feel that, although I'm not a huge fan of the direction, there's no question that it could be diverted and turned into something really amazing. And what's kind of interesting, last thing I'll say about this, I promise. What's kind of interesting is, like I was saying, how Twitch fundamentally started changing years before it was sold. A part of me wonders if that's what we've been seeing in the last 2 years. And it makes me wonder if they're positioning to sell again. And that's an interesting thing to think about, because who would buy Twitch and what would they do with it? Would Microsoft step in and be like, well, we tried with Mixer, but hey, let's just buy it from the source? Would Sony step in and be like, yo, we want to do this whole streaming thing, let's do it, and then ban all Microsoft products off Twitch? Would a company from another country step in and be like, yeah, you're ours now, and we're gonna decide what we want to do with you? Would Meta step in and be like, yeah, Facebook gaming failed completely, so we're just going to integrate Twitch on our website? So, I mean, there's all sorts of major companies that could make all sorts of money on Twitch. And it does make me wonder, because like a lot of the stuff we've been seeing, especially over the last couple of years, has been directly to affect the bottom line at the expense of viewers and creators, which, sure, they're trying to pump up how much money they're earning, but I mean, a lot of it has been stuff that's really hard to swallow, which leads you to believe they need to have a pretty good reason to do it. And I think that their reason, just my guess, probably goes beyond just increasing their bottom line. So I do wonder if we're going to be seeing some kind of news at some point in the future. I mean, hell, maybe stuff's already going on in the back end. We'd never know, right? Chat saying there was loot behind the door. Thank you, chat. Yeah, we'll see. We'll all see. System lock enabled. We don't have a key for this yet, do we? I think we have to like go into the fan or something, right? Yeah, I mean, it could be as easy as Amazon bringing the hammer down and being like, you guys need to start making more money for us. We didn't buy you to make this much money. We bought you to make a lot more money. So maybe that's all it comes down to. I mean, we did just see that big round of Twitch layoffs not long ago. I mean, that could have very much been Amazon just stepping in and being like, we're not paying for this. We're not paying for this. Like, you need to provide us more for what we bought you for. Do better. Gunhorn says it could be that Twitch is not profitable. Do we know if Twitch is profitable? I think they've announced, I'm pretty sure they have they have said that Twitch is profitable multiple times. But here's the thing. when a company is not profitable, it doesn't always mean that it's not making money. What it could mean is that that the company is being poorly run and has a lot of fat and a lot of bloat and a lot of things it doesn't need, and it's spending a lot of money on things that don't make sense or don't give returns. So if you say like Twitch isn't profitable, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's Twitch's fault. You see what I'm saying? Like it's not necessarily saying that Twitch couldn't make money. It's saying that it isn't for various reasons. Yeah. I forgot a book in the vent. Wait. Did I? Where? Is there something back here? Do you think they'll get rid of Prime subs for free? I would not be surprised if the Prime thing is at some point adjusted. Prime subs to this day were probably the best thing that Amazon has ever done for streamers. It was essentially a raise. Prime subs were a raise for streamers. It was huge, and it still is huge. I would not be surprised in the slightest to see Prime subs get adjusted in one way or another. Absolutely. Twitch made $2.8 billion in revenue in 2022, says Dubs for Days. Now revenue does not equal profit, but that still seems like a lot of money. That does seem like a lot of money. Now, of course, we don't know the operating costs, so, you know, but 2.8 billion does seem like a pretty good amount of money. But yeah, again, to be clear, that number means nothing without knowing profit. If you don't, revenue means, I mean, they could be losing money, but they potentially are losing money. We don't use the key here. Oh, we use it on that locked door. That's right. Okay. Yeah, I don't think the server cost is billions, but I do think that they have a massive amount of employees these days. Even after the layoffs, they still, like, Amazon went on a hiring spree of like middle management stuff, from what I understand. Of course, I don't know myself, but you know, Amazon's going to Amazon basically. So, you know, we have no idea how much they're spending per month on salaries, on hardware, on monthly upkeep costs. Like, that's not something we have access to. Probably about tree fitty. It's probably about tree fitty. Razul says, you're still rambling. I am. Yeah. But I'm keeping the gameplay up. So it's a compromise. We're compromising right now. We're compromising. Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, also you got to factor in TwitchCons. Those are probably super expensive. Yeah, also, I mean, there's tons and tons and tons and tons of costs. Noob question, is this content here a DLC? Not right now. No, we're not playing a DLC right now. Where is that locked door? Is that through the second area? I think it's at the end of the second area, right? Okay, that's what it is. Cohh, this is the last thing I'll say about it. 1 hour later, still yapping. Not wrong. Not wrong. This is going to be the stuff that old man Cohh rambles about when he's a lone survivor in the post-apocalyptic world. It's true, and I live in a bus in a tree. Yep, that's an accurate statement. Mm-hmm. 100%. Back in my day. Back in my day. Sorry, I'm working on my back in my day voice. Okay. Mm-hmm. Boop. And boop. Nice. Do the submachine gun. See how we like that? I remember liking this gun. Yeah. You planning on playing this solo? One sec, let me check. Yep, looks like it. Are you saying Remnant 2? Is that the question you were asking? Yes, I'm planning on playing my first run of Remnant 2 solo. However, I'm assuming that Remnant 2 is going to be like Remnant 1, where there's going to be like reasons to play it multiple times. So have they confirmed that? CohhT says, as somebody who doesn't keep up with this industry, gaming, streaming, esports, etc., it's nice to hear honest thoughts from somebody in the platform. Well, thank you, Cohh. I'm glad you enjoy it, buddy. I'm glad you enjoy listening to the ramblings of an old man. Thank you. I'm sure many in the chat feel the exact opposite. So thanks. Oh yeah, we got to get the woman first. Yep, let's do that. But yeah, they're actually ramping up the replayability. Even the story is procedural in Remnant 2.
What?
Really? Interesting. Okay. I didn't realize they were going that far with it. But I like it. I'm here for it, man. So cool. Oh, wait, that's great. That's great. So what that means is that we'll do our first playthrough solo, and then when we do a second co-op playthrough, it'll be like playing a different game in a lot of ways. I'm all about that, man. Hell yeah.
Fine. Let's have a look.
Cool. Do we want this? I guess. Sure.
We're done here?
Rattleweed. Oop. Tricked you.
Anything you need? Let's see what.
Okay. I'm gonna upgrade you. Well. Just upgrade the hell out of that gun, didn't we?
So long.
Oh, do I have to put it up here? Oh, I put Rattleweed here. No, wait, take this out. How do I take this out? There we go. Okay, we're gonna put Rattleweed there. Okay, cool. Can I take the one out of this one? Yeah, there we go. Cool. And then put it in here. Can I just say how much it bugs me in games when they put like hotkeys in the bottom, but then put other hotkeys in different places? Like, just put that on the bottom. Put all your hotkeys in one little place. Don't be this guy. All right, anyway. Just don't do that. It's not player friendly. It's not dingus friendly. All right. I wish the RNG in this game could be reduced. Yeah, really? I kind of love the RNG in this game. I feel like that's kind of a thing about this game. They did it because they know it bugs you? They probably did. Probably did. Does that mean there will be a good evil run of... Oh, good evil route? Oh, interesting. I don't know. Maybe. Cohh is cantankerous today? I am. Great use of cantankerous, by the way. It's an excellent word. GG. Is Borderlands 3 better than Remnant? No. It's very different. Remnant is not really a looter shooter. Remnant has a lot of interesting mechanics borrowed from other games, but it's not really a looter shooter. I would not call it that. So Borderlands 3 is like the looter shooter, you know? So I wouldn't really put them in the same category. Mm-hmm. It's more like Dark Souls with guns. I mean, it's kind of like a combination of like some of the boss fights are kind of Soulsy. The gameplay itself is almost. It's kind of weird because like this game in a lot of ways is kind of a revival of older games like Hellgate London, and it's doing a very unique thing, which it's one of the reasons I like this game so much. It's a little Outriders-y. It's a little like yeah, Hellgate London was a looter shooter, but the gameplay was a little bit similar, where it's like you generally move through an area, almost like Diablo style enemies. Not quite as many, obviously, but it's like Again, this game does an interesting job of combining a lot of different styles into a package that really just kind of works on its own. It's kind of hard to compare it for that reason. It's not easy to do a lot of comparisons. It very much is its own thing. I still have my Hellgate London box. Hell yeah, dude. Did you know you can buy Hellgate London on Steam? They should remake that game. I mean, it kind of had some pretty...
Don't let Chad boss you around. Sit down.
It had some pretty big flaws that I think could use a little bit of retooling and reworking, but that's a game that I think they could do with a remake, like a proper remake, not like a remaster. I mean, like rebuilt from the ground up, using the same lore and stuff, but patching some of those holes that it had, and it did have some pretty large holes. Crazy. Is that a mine? Yes, it is. Uh-oh. Yo, this gun is doing work now.
He's down.
Love it. I have no idea where I'm going here. Completely unrelated. After seeing the Armored Core gameplay, how hyped are you? Dude, I'm super excited for Armored Core. I love big stompy robots, and it looks like that's exactly what I'm going to get with Armored Core. So I can't wait to spend long amounts of time customizing my mech and then bringing it out, testing, and all that fun stuff. A lot of people said the gameplay looked kind of bland, but I feel like they did it pretty much exactly how they wanted to do it, to kind of stay true to the originals, I should say, I guess. I thought it looked fine. Ooh, that's nice. Feels good, man.
Stay down.
We gotta work on the reload on this gun. Was that a simulacrum?
Get it.
Hell yeah, man. You have to play this game to catch up on the new one coming out. Okay, so here's the thing. Probably not. You can probably just pick up Remnant 2 and play it. But, this world is very lore rich. It's very lore heavy. If you care at all about that, I would probably recommend a playthrough of this game before 2. In this game, you learn why there's all these enemies everywhere. You know, what happened to the world to get to this point. You meet a lot of the major characters that were involved in that. So, I don't know if Remnant 2 is planning on doing some kind of, like, lore catch-up thing. If they don't, if you want the full experience, I'd probably say play Remnant 1. Or at least watch our playthrough. YouTube.com/CohhCarnage. But that's about it, really. I'd say one or the other. Mm-hmm.
Get it.
Nice. Didn't Hellgate London make the developer go out of business? Hellgate London, from what I understand, was not a game that was financially feasible over time. It was honestly way ahead of its time, in terms of what it offered and in terms of what tech was available. So I do believe that it became financially insoluble over time. Kind of like a lot of the early MMOs too, unfortunately. I still really miss Anarchy Online. It's still going though, I think. Anarchy Online. Resist? No, stop resisting. There we go. I just need to overwhelm this? Is that what's going on here? Yeah, I think so. Oh, God. Bro, do not Neo-style dodge me, please. Anarchy Online is still going weirdly strong. That's a game that I feel needs a remake. Anarchy Online is like such a cool freaking game, but so many of its mechanics are ultra dated by now, and it's just like I actually went back and tried it a couple of years ago, and man, it needs a reboot. But it's such a cool concept. Such a cool concept.